Hey everyone, it's Imran from Web Squadron, and this is our second live chat in 2 days. Well, second live chat in 2 days, which is a bit of a big thing for me because I haven't done, I think, two in 2 days for well over a year now. But I'm just trying to get back into the habit of doing live chats a bit more regularly, just because I quite enjoyed yesterday, and I hope you did too. We don't have any set topics when it comes to talking. We kind of just go with the flow. I do have something I do want to talk about, though, that I do think I want to warn a lot of people about because it's something that I can see a lot of web designers and agencies and freelancers getting caught out by. But I'll just wait for a few more people to join on the chat and I will talk and share. Well, not share, but I'll talk a little bit more about what I really want to talk about. Please do let me know if the sound and the video is coming through all right. Well, May says, can a person earn enough from doing web development? Of course you can. I gave up my day job. I was head of business intelligence and analytics in the NHS, and I was earning a very good salary, let me tell you now. But I retired from that in January 2022. I was obviously hustling and freelancing prior to that, like 20 years at least, but it was never like fully committed because my day job was my day job. And then during COVID, I started moving more towards, no, I'm going to make a living out of this. And that's eventually where I ended up. And then in January 2022, I took a big gamble, um, left my day job. And the first month after that was really bad, really bad. All of a sudden, everything was like, crap, we're not really making much here, or I'm not making much. And then things slowly take off. Okay. And it's all down to the best advice I can give you, Ume, is you have to look at your outgoings, your bills and debts and all of that, and you want to shrink them down. So going towards January 2022, when I decided, right, I might do this full time, I spent a year really hammering down any debts or anything so that my outgoings per month were as minimal as I could make them. They're not zero. You got to pay something, but as minimal as I could. So that if I had a good month or a bad month or whatever, sorry, a bad month, it didn't hurt me too much. And then you just build your brand, you build you get out, you get clients, you find clients, clients find you, you build rapport, you build like a reputation, you try and build something that allows you to grow. So yes, you can, Ume, but a lot of it is down to, are you building websites? Have you got a client base? How many websites have you built? Do you know what it is that you offer different to another web designer down the road? So you got to think a little bit more methodically. You can't just say, can a person earn enough doing web development? Because I could say, could a mechanic earn enough? You know, could you earn enough working in a shop? Could you earn enough working in McDonald's? Could you earn enough washing cars? Yes, you could, but it all depends on how do you approach it and what do you need to be earning and where are you going to get that income from? Because you could argue that if I was to build websites for people based in India, as an example, I will only earn so much. But I could build 20 websites for people in India and earn that amount. And I could build one website in the United Kingdom or United States and earn that amount. So a lot of geographical, stuff plays into it as well, economy of scale. Case, I keep saying keys when I know it's case, right? Just you watched yesterday's stream. Yeah, it was quite fun. I was quite animated, I think. I think I went a bit like I think I just exploded with emotion about stuff that came on my mind. Hey Phil, hey Praveen as well. Case says, do you have enough entre? Yeah, it's look, that's the other thing, right? I think too many people watch a video online where someone says, hey, if you design a logo, you'll make 6 figures. If you design a website, you'll make 7 figures. If you can edit a book for authors who write books, if you can edit the book for them, you'll make 8 figures and all of that. And hey, Richard, too many people latch onto this mindset that, well, they did it, I can do it. That's they're probably not telling you exactly what they did, right? They'll share a snippet of how they achieved it. But in reality, they probably had someone help them out, someone opened the door for them, or they just happened to be in the right place at the right time, or they sent the perfect email. They might, what a lot of them won't tell you is it's like authors. Some authors are really genuine, others are not. They've probably been sending letters to literary agents and publishing houses for about the last 4 years. You know, rejection, 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 and then eventually one hits, one lands. They have to do a bit more work, a bit more editing of a book, and then it goes and gets published. So it's all down to, a lot of it is down to how you approach it, and and how quick do you want to be successful. And this kind of relates to the topic I am going to come on to today, but I'm just waiting for a few more people to arrive and then I'll jump into it. There's too much, do this and you'll make loads of money. Don't fall for that crap, all right? Because a lot of it is just crap. And at the end of the day, a lot of people that say that, they then want you to buy a course off them where they're going to teach you, but what they teach you is not going to make you money. You will make you money, not the course, kind of thing. Richard says it's the same as if you buy a lotto ticket. You could win, but some people are playing it. Exactly. Hey Eddie, how you doing? That's the thing, isn't it, Richard? Right? You can buy a lottery ticket and do it for 20 years and not win the lottery. And one person who's never done it buys one ticket and they win. Hey Jeffrey, how you doing? Good to see you, mate. So I want to jump into now the thing that was on my mind, really. This is something that is exploding in the last 12 months, especially the last 6 months. And I see it getting worse in 2025 and going into 2026. This relates to something that has always been there, right? Whereby how to explain it? Think of it like a digital pyramid scheme, okay? Last 10, 15 years, we've all seen them. And I think we're all guilty of clicking and having a look, going, ooh, what is this? Sponsored advert, or it might have been a promo, or someone said something, or there was an image and we went and clicked. I'm talking about people who say they're going to help you make $10,000 a month. They're going to help you become a millionaire by the end of the year or whatever. And before, it always used to be with like selling products or something else, almost like a pyramid scheme, right? At the end of the day, all they ever did was want you to follow like a process. Normally it's a really long page, right? You start off with the problem, the pain, where you started off, your life was shit, you lived in a cardboard box. Then all of a sudden you realized what you had to do, you tried it out, you invested, you listened to people, and then you put it into motion, and bit by bit, boom, you became a millionaire, and you got a yacht and a fast car and a fancy house, and then there's photos of you in flimsy shirts, and you're walking around and you're smiling and happy. And then there's reams of testimonials. This is amazing. I can't believe this has changed my life. At the end of the day, all they ever want you to do is to buy their course on how to learn to become successful. And all they do is regurgitate what they got from someone else. And what happens is they sell their course, and then the person who's bought their course then sets up their own website to imitate what they bought in the hope that other people will buy their course to make them money. And then the person who bought their course imitates to make money. And it goes on and on and on and on and on like that. It's not a complete pyramid scheme because you're just making money for yourself. But there are quite a few, and I have seen some in my local town. I was horrified when I found out about it, where they're trying to get you to buy a product, but it's all part of like a pyramid scheme. Anyway, I'm going to come back on that very quickly, just check some of the questions going on. Design Flicks, 2025 will be the anti-guru message. You'll be taught that by a guru. Probably. I'm actually coming on to that. Now, I do sell courses. Paul sells courses. Jeffrey sells courses. Dave Foy sells courses. Kevin Geary sells courses. We all have courses. Loads of people do. And it's not just us. There's loads of people out there. There's accountants. influencers that sell courses. Think Media that do loads of YouTube stuff. They have courses, but what none of them are saying is that by taking our course, you're going to make 6-figure salaries, 20-figure, not 20-figure, 7, 8-figure salaries. We're not saying that. What we're trying to do is teach you how to work with tools to become even more efficient, more methodical, get the best out of it, to upskill yourself, to give yourself a better chance at landing a job or a project. We're not promising you anything, but we are saying that we're going to pass on our knowledge and experience and skills so that you get like a way of doing it. Just going to check some of the questions coming on. Phil, isn't that just passing in from a power to them if they make? Not really. Not really. So Phil, here's how I see it, okay, is a lot of these courses, they are training you, they are teaching you, but what they're doing is they do it on the basis of when you buy my course, you are going to make this amount of money. Hey, George, so the problem I'm seeing, and this is really taking off in the last 6 months, like I'm seeing it a lot, and I'm a little bit peeved off that I'm seeing some well-known people, and by the way, it's none of the names I mentioned, but I am seeing some well-known people in the WordPress stratosphere, but are actually jumping on this hype. So I'm not going to name any companies or what they are, but there are people out there that are saying, if you sign up for our course, we're going to train you to make 6 figures as an AI consultant, right? Because AI is the big thing, right? And it's been the big thing for the last 2-3 years now, and it's taking off on and on and on and on, right? There's people now popping up left, right, center, flavor of the month, where they say, we will spend 1 month training you upon AI, right? And you will now achieve a 6-figure, you will earn 6 figures at the end of it. You'll be able to get this job and do all of this shit. They're talking crap. All they're going to do is teach you how to use ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, DeepSeek, and whatever other tool, Midjourney, right? They're going to teach you about agents and stuff like that. They're just going to teach you stuff, right? But there is no guarantee that you will make anything. You will not make anything if you think by just doing that, your money's going to drop out. No. You still have to go out and build your brand and your business and who you are and what you offer. And why should a business pay for you to do AI when they could do it themselves? Because you got to admit now, right? Times have changed. If you go back 25 years ago, a lot of businesses were having to go to agencies to say, we need a Microsoft Access expert. We need a Microsoft Excel expert. We need an AutoCAD expert. But that's because the generation then weren't very clued up with the tech. I'm going back to 2000, right? 25 years ago. But since then, the last 20, even 15 years, people are more clued up now with Excel, with SQL, with whatever tool, business objects, right? PowerPoint, right? Whatever you're going to use, Tableau. Tableau's a big one, right? For reporting software and all of that. People on, Agile, all of this stuff about mindsets and how you work. So there will now be, I guarantee you now, right? If there is a business and they have got like a communications department, I'm pretty sure that anyone who's coming in now, they will be an expert on Instagram and probably TikTok and thinking about social media and all of that. So I think that businesses are going to start upskilling themselves. Now, that does not mean, though, that you can't get massively skilled up in AI and offer businesses and your clients something different, especially when it comes to marketing, being more efficient with creating posts and articles and, riding the wave. But what I'm getting really annoyed with is that I have seen a massive amount of companies or people out there saying, if you pay me $1,000 or $600, I'm going to teach you to make 6 figures as an AI consultant. No, you're just paying for them to pass on to you what you could have learned yourself from watching YouTube videos, reading articles, or playing around with AI yourself. Do you know how many people there are on TikTok right now and YouTube Shorts and LinkedIn? And what they do is they go, oh, look, put this prompt in, generate a post, shove it over to Canva, copy and paste it, and you're going to make loads of money. Come on. Eventually, that kind of trick runs dry. And what will happen is eventually the AI output doesn't reflect the vibe of the business. Right, I'm going to check some of the comments because I've kind of missed a few, right? I think I said hi to you, George, didn't I, mate? And I hope you're doing well. Nasir, how many types of websites? What? How many types of websites we have created for full WP skill? I'm not sure I understand the question. Ivan, WordPress devs are, as usual, 6 years behind, but thinking they're on the latest and greatest. Well, I think it. I don't think it matters whether you do WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, whatever, Dreamweaver, because you can be massively skilled as a coder, right? You can be like JavaScript. I can really, with my eyes closed, I don't even have to touch the keyboard. I just do that and the JavaScript appears. You can do all that. But it's about what you present. It's a bit like, I remember there was like people I worked with. They were brilliant at coding and analytics. But when you asked them to present in a meeting, they were shit. And the same comes with websites, I think, right? You can be clueless on coding, but you can make magic as on a page and the way it works mobile. So I think that I would say that it doesn't really matter what you use. Phil, fingers people want to be driven. They need that dopamine hit. Yeah, and I think that's the issue I got. When you put out messages like, you will make 6 figures by following this course to learn AI, I always go a bit like, there are going to be people that sign up that pay $1,000 and they are going to come out hurt when they realize all you did was teach them how to use ChatGPT. Can you imagine that? And then the next day they'll learn how to do Perplexity, and the next day how to use Claude, and the next day how to do DeepSeek, and the next day how to do Grok, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And what people have to realize is 3 years ago, we had ChatGPT and Midjourney, and then we had loads of other stuff appearing, right? Now, Grok, I started using that about 3 weeks ago. I am massively impressed by Grok 3, super impressed. All of a sudden now, I'm using ChatGPT less, so I'm using Grok 3 more. In a month's time, I'll be using something else, or ChatGPT 4.5, or 5, or 6, or whatever comes out. So I just find that a lot of these courses are a little bit fake, and they are using people's emotions to say, we're going to make you rich. Be honest. Say you're going to teach people how to use AI. Don't say, by taking my course, you're going to make £1 million. I don't like that. I don't like to be fake. I don't like to mislead or misrepresent or make people think that I'm going to make you into a millionaire. I'm not even a millionaire. And a lot of them, they make these big claims, right? Jeffrey, it's like books. Someone shares years of knowledge and expertise, sells it in a book. And yeah, exactly what Jeffrey says there, right? We can just pass on what we know. But then what you do and how you apply it is almost down to you. And we cannot predict if you're going to be successful. Jeffrey also says, oh, I just missed it. I just skipped it. Where's it gone? It's a red flag when someone says they're an expert in something that's been around less than a year. Exactly. And there's no evidence either. So many people are popping up and going, I've been doing this for 20 years. In fact, no, here's a brilliant one. You're going to see this on Facebook a lot. There's people advertising gym equipment. Like the latest one is this like, it's like a curve. I can't explain it. It's curved. Well, it's something like that. And you do that and it's meant to make your chest really muscly. And when you do that, and it's meant to make your upper chest. And you do this and it makes your lower chest all muscly and built up and 689 pack. And there's people doing it. and they are proper muscly. And I'm sat there thinking, this product has just come out. Are you telling me, right, that you became muscly in like 2 months? But that's what they say. Oh, if it weren't for this, I wouldn't have muscles like that. What a load of fucking bullshit. And it's all over the place, isn't it? You have people going, I've been, oh, if it weren't for this drink, I wouldn't be slim. The drink's just come out. Did you take one gulp and the weight came out your backside or something? Right? It's all... I hate marketing that does this, right? But it's exploding at the moment with AI. I'm just asking, if you want to sign up to something to learn AI, I wish you the best. But please don't get sucked into thinking, well, if I do this, I'm going to become a millionaire. It's not how it works, okay? You've got to be careful. There's so many resources, right? YouTube, books, articles. You can even go over to ChatGPT and say, can you explain how I use you to achieve X, Y, Z? And it will tell you what you need to do and how to use ChatGPT with ChatGPT, right? And if you don't want to read it, go to your phone, open ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, or, and talk to it. And it will talk back to you in a wonderful feminine voice. It will talk back to you. That's all you need to do. George says, this reminds him of a client that went to a consultant. The consultant then said the site design is the reason she's not seeing her classes. What do you want to do? Is that I'm in a meeting with a client and consultant. I'm just going to scroll down. Tajali, I'm all right, mate. Hope you're okay. George, there's no point waiting. They're never going to come back to you. Exactly, Jeffrey. These people that show off their Bugattis, right? I remember about 3 years ago, there was someone advertising on LinkedIn a lot. And she always said that she was like the LinkedIn expert, right? And I signed up for her course just to see what is she going to show you? Because I've already done webinars and stuff on LinkedIn. I shared with you lot. I did it about a couple of years ago. So I just went on just to watch and see what does she do. She had people signing up for this is what she said. I will help you to do much more on LinkedIn, right? For $1,500. But if you sign up now, you get it for $600. People were signing up left, right, center, or so she made out or claimed. I don't know if it's true or not. All she ever really did, because I found out from people, all she does is teach you how to write a better profile, how to engage, and how to make sure you post regularly. Because she says her team is going to help you to get more clients. You couldn't have done that yourself, but you paid $600 for someone to tell you to make your profile better, to post regularly, and to engage. Da-da. And I don't mean the Netflix da-da. I mean da-da, right? And that's the problem. So many people, they're not teaching you anything new or different. I do. I like to think I teach quite a lot of decent shit with the CS course and the Elemental course. I like to think Jeffrey does as well. I like to think Paul does and Dave does and Kevin Geary does with his stuff. I like to think a lot of us, we're not promising to make you millionaires, but we're giving you new ways of doing things. Whereas a lot of these other people, AI consultant courses, what are they actually going to teach you? How to write a prompt? You needed to pay someone to teach you how to write a fucking prompt. Tajali says, your videos have always been helpful. I am a great tutor. I don't know if much of you think that. Smash the like button. I'm surprised that any of you are still watching. You're going, oh, he just swore. Shit, he just swore. How dare he? That's life, right? Memo, you may be the only creator. I came for a quick tutorial on a specific subject and stayed for the great community. Hey, look, I try to help as much as I can. And I try to provide efficient ways of doing stuff in a different way where you don't have to turn to a third-party plugin. Not every solution I give you won't use a third-party plugin. I use code snippets quite a bit, even though you can use custom code as well. But I try to get you just to think different. And if it helps, I'm really, really happy. Hey, take care, Phil, by the way. Just going to scroll down. By the way, thank you, Greg, for that. Design Flicks, I saw this quote today. Remember, things are growing slower because you actually have integrity. Oh, I need to think about that. Things are growing slower because you actually have integrity. I take that as a compliment. Steve, how are you from Southern California? I hope the weather's really good. Kai, 35 years in business. I still don't know enough shit. That's the thing, isn't it? We're always learning. But what we don't do is say to someone, hey, come and sit with me and I'm going to make you a millionaire. I just hate all of this, you know. So Greg says the get rich easy mentality is huge there. How do you help people break out of it? What you've got to do is offer something different. And I think that, do you know what? I think this is an opportunity now for some of you. I could, if I want, start doing some more AI videos, but I feel like that might be too big of a branch from the web design. I do some other talky videos where I talk about how can you help yourself as a business and life and all of that, okay? But I think some of you could start an AI channel which focuses on how to get the best out of it to achieve and do more and to help your business and to, I don't know, make some form of income of it. You'd have to have a proven model, though. You can't just say, well, let's test this out. That didn't work. Let's test this out. That didn't work. It's like trading stocks and shares. There's too many dickheads out there that have a stocks and share website. Trading 212, buy this share, buy Tesla. Yeah, do £10, $100, da. You get compound interest. You're going to make loads of money. Then Tesla bombs. Oh no, don't buy Tesla. Nvidia bombs. Don't buy Nvidia. Because they're literally just trying out, aren't they? And you're trusting them, but they're using you as a guinea pig. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, here's 5 stocks I really think you should buy. You go and buy them, and they go, and you're like, what? And they're like, well, I did make clear that I'm not a finance expert, that I'm only trying to advise what, you know, it's up to you. I didn't force you to buy those stocks and shares. Do you know what I mean? Right? Let me just come back to the comments before I skip down. Anyway, no, sorry, the AI. Let me finish that off. I think some of you should start to do AI channel where you really focus on and become an expert on the ChatGPT side and how to get the best out of it. Or ChatGPT, Grok 3, and maybe one other. Don't do too many. Focus on it. So people know, I want to get the best out of Grok, I go there. I want to get the best out of ChatGPT, I go there. People know that if they want the best out of bricks, they're probably going to go to Dave and Paul. Jeffrey does a bit as well. I do a bit, but not so much. I like to think that if people want the best out of Elemental, they're going to come to Jeffrey, me, and a few others. Become the expert in that. If you want to then create a course or something, or sell books, or, you know, like I do $1 packs, if you want to then take it over into a monetized route, you could do. Maybe your YouTube channel takes off. Believe me, right? People that were covering Mid-Journey 2 years ago, their channels went like that overnight because they were really hitting home with it. But you could, there's an opportunity now for someone, for you, one of you, to go and start a channel like that without misleading, without saying to people, you want to learn how to do prompts, you got to pay me and I'll teach you. Well, you could just do a video and teach them how to do it. Webriser, hope you're okay. Dennis, for every problem is a solution. How you achieve them has a different route. Let me just quickly scroll down here. Integrity over quick reach schemes. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly skip. I'm reading this stuff here. Dennis says make a video about your workflows. I have done to an extent. And I have covered stuff in the Elemental website course about collecting your resources and then, you know, thrashing out your projects with your clients. And I've got the productivity pack where I show the project planning. Hey, Beatrice, and all of that. So I have got things already for that. But I hear you, and I'll consider doing an updated version. Kai, in merch for 35 years. He means merchandise, not like, a mercenary merch. I can make 300,000 t-shirts per day. The trick is the little bits and the financing needed per shirt per day. It's all painful. Look, nothing is easy, right? Whatever business you decide to go in, whatever hustle you're running, whatever side project you're doing. In fact, no, let me touch on this. Some people in my life don't understand why I'm not always available for them. Why am I always saying I'm busy, I'm working? Because I could, if I want, take my foot off the pedal, take a week or two off. There'll still be other forms of income that come in. I do stocks and shares, by the way. There's stuff like that. The YouTube channel, designing for clients is not the be all end all. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to have, I like to think of my income as a very plateauy thing, right? When I went full time in January 2022, the income went like that and it slowly grew with other things I do. And there's always a plateau up and down, right? But it's mainly like that. I don't want to get to a stage where it does that. I mean, I'm playing catch up. That's me. That's my ethos. That's my mojo. That's what makes me tick. Not everyone will agree with that. There will be people that like to take time off and then they'll work their way back up, or it just picks up automatically. That's all right, okay? Yes, Samu, ask your question. Go for it. Ask your question. That's totally fine. However, I'm one of those people where I want to know at what point am I going to go, I cannot do more. So if I can find a solution to a problem, I want to know that I did that. If I can get another client that I thought I couldn't get, I want to know I got that. If I can grow as a YouTube channel, as a web agency, as a problem solver, as someone who's able to do more than just Elementor, yeah? I've started doing videos where I talk more about getting clients, about your mindset in how you think, scope creep and all of that, and protecting yourself. If I can start to become known for that, that's another feather, on my belt. Feather on your belt, feather in your cap. Feather in your cap, isn't it? Yeah. I want to be able to do that. I don't want to go, I'll just take my foot off the pedal. Because I want to know how far can I go. And the reason why is I don't know how long I've got left on this earth. Today, next week, next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I don't want to get to that point where one day I collapse and go, notch on your belt. That's it, notch on your belt. Feather in your cap, notch on your belt. I don't want to get to that point where suddenly I lose the ability to use my hands. I'm not trying to make a joke here. I'm just being realistic here. I don't want to get Alzheimer's. I don't want to get dementia. I say I don't want to get it, but I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't want to get stroke. I don't want to have a problem so fundamentally serious that all of a sudden I now cannot really do what I wanted to do. And I don't want to look back and say, of all the things I wanted to achieve, I only did that. And a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but who cares, right? You can't achieve everything. No, you can't. But those that aim, those that believe, those that want to push and break the glass ceiling and all of that, when they achieve, everyone else will be like, I wish I'd done that. Because I wish I'd started this YouTube channel 15 years ago now. I considered doing a WordPress channel 15 years ago, and I didn't. I waited until like COVID, and even during COVID, when I started thinking about, should I go full time? And I was helping people out on Elementor forums. Do you remember in 2020? This channel kicked off in June 2021. In 2020, I was all over the Elementor forums. When we had the Elementor community hub, I was all over that. Loads of hours. But what did I have to show for it at the end of the day? Nothing, really. And I wish I'd started earlier. So there are things that I wish I'd done. I wish I'd jumped into the stocks and shares game 20 years ago. I was doing it 25 years ago. 26 years ago. And then I stopped doing it in 2002. Obviously, because the market crashed, and we all know why, in 2001. And it picked up again. but I wish I'd stuck with it. When I think now of the stocks and shares I had in 1999, wow, I'd be laughing right now. And I wish I'd stuck at it. So there's all these things like these regrets we have. And I don't want to be in that position anymore because I want to, when my son is of the right age, start getting him geared up, start getting him to think differently about, I know you want to do this now, and I know you want to do that in 2 years' time, but start thinking of where you want to be by the time you hit 30, 40, 50, 60. And I think a lot of you need to do that as well, right? And if you're not doing it now, don't just live for today. Don't just live for tomorrow. Live for the end of your life. Start thinking to the end, right? Start thinking about what you want to say. I did that. Because no one else is going to do it for you, especially consultants that say, hey, buy my course and I'll help you make $6 million by the end of the year. What a load of bullshit. Right. Let me just go back to the questions. Is there a possible to add widget for filter widget like size, color? Yeah, I mean, look, there's a grid builder. There are free stuff as well out there, but it very much depends on exactly what you want to do. So you're saying you want like a widget for product filter. Look, there's oh God, what's it called? Oh, I can't remember the name now. Was it Themify? I think it was Themify, but WP Grid Builder is the one I would definitely use if I was you. Go and have a look at that. But Samu, putting in comments here, there's only so much we can help you. This is where you would probably need a one-to-one consultation, or you need to join the Web Squadron Facebook group and post an image or a scribble over what exactly you're trying to achieve. Because, you know, just to make sure we advise you better. Case, best moment to plant a tree is 30 years today. 30 years ago. Second best moment is today. Exactly. You know? So if any of you have wanted to start a YouTube channel, get off your ass and do it, right? Forget other people that are also doing maybe the same topic. If you can offer a different vibe, a different way, a new face, just do it. All right? But you got to stick at it. If you give it a go, but your heart's not fully in it, and then you drop off, fine. There's too many people I've seen that have started a channel in the last year or so, and they do a video, they promote it everywhere, even on well-known channels, and then they disappear. And I'm like, what was the point? You know, I would be really pissed off if I started investing in anyone's channel and then they dropped off because they were like, oh, well, no one's watching. Well, why are they not watching? Are you posting regularly? Is your thumbnail art connecting? Is the way you're doing it as good as you can do it? Speak to someone maybe. Speak to me. Speak to Jeffrey. Speak to someone. Maybe we can advise you a bit better. Get some support. But if you want to do something, do it. The Office AI. I love The Office. Michael Scott. I've been following you for 2 to 3 years and learned a lot. Thank you very much for that. I love The Office, the US version. Favorite show. Love it. Designflix says you'll see the benefits of what you do today in 90 days. Just because today feels slow doesn't mean it don't matter. That's absolutely true. Samu says, do you have a Facebook community? Yes. Go to Facebook. Type in Web Squadron. You'll find our group. Go and jump in. I'll remember your name and I'll let you in. I am very selective over who I let in case I suspect that they're just going to be a problem or just spam. But if you come in with that name, I'll remember you. And of course, you'll get in. Designflix, I've not been able to be on live for months since you relaunched. And today you talk about launching a channel. And I launched mine yesterday. Go with it. All right. Make sure you do 2 to 3 videos a week. All right. Show people you're serious. When you do a video a week, people might forget, and sometimes they might not know, like, how serious is this person? Is there any point me subscribing to someone who does a video every 2 months, for instance? Because they're not regular, you're kind of going to forget it, you know. I've got too many subscriptions as it is. I don't need to know about that one. They don't really offer. They did one good video. I learned from it. But after that, they've never offered or given me something that made me go, whoa, this guy's good. This girl's good. This person's good. So just try to be 2 to 3, I would definitely say. Minimum 2. I think 1 a week is too light. In this day and age, with the amount of content that comes out, 1 a week is too light. You got to do 2, at least. Bergschwerk, how are you doing? Yep, I've tried to relax down the background, Bergschwerk, mainly because I still have them. They're just there. But I've relaxed it because I want to have a bit more of a relaxed vibe. You know, a bit more autumnal kind of thing. Just a bit more aged a little bit. Phil, have you seen the issue with the blank mini cart on the new version of Woo? No, I haven't. I better have a look at that, Phil, because it probably affects me as well. Damn, I better have a look at that. Samu, did you check my example site? You can't post links inside of here, though, unfortunately, Samu. So your best bet is to jump over to the Web Squadron Facebook group and post over there. So there we go. I've had a bit of a extended rant about, well, almost 40 minutes, about how I want a lot of you to be very careful of courses, people saying or expecting you to pay to be trained up on how to use AI, because you can do it for free. And I've said this many, many times, and I'm getting to the point where I'm getting actually quite angry now, okay? And I really have to contain my anger sometimes because I don't want to come across as too ruthless or brutal in the elemental group or my own group, okay? Too many people are posting questions without looking at AI. You can probably find your answer if you search the group, but sometimes that's not always easy, and you go on a wild goose chase. You know, you click and that's not the answer. You click again, that's still not the answer. It's easy to say that. It's easy to say just go online, and again, you might click, click, click and still not get the answer. But too many people are underusing AI for their problem. So Samu, when I say I'm angry, I'm not angry at you. But question I got for you, Samu, right? Have you posted your question being specific over what you want to achieve and what you want as much as you can and put it into ChatGPT or Grok or DeepSeek? Have you done that? Because I bet if you did and you then said it has to be free or pro or premium or whatever because your client's going to pay for it. If you were a little bit specific, I want a filter, and the filter will then show da-da-da-da-da, and I want to be able to do X, Y, Z. What is there? You know, what is there for me to use with WordPress or whatever? You will get quite a lot of answers. And I bet if you posted a mini version of your question into Google and you then said, restrict my results to the latest month, you'll probably find an article or a blog post. And I get a little bit frustrated that people don't do that. I don't get why. I seriously do not get why. Right now, okay, if I have a question like I want to do X, Y, Z, I don't know if I can do it. Or I've got a client and he wants to do something with appointments. I have a vague idea of what I would use or what I would have used in the past, but I just go to AI and go, what do you think I should use? Because I want to do duck, duck, duck. And it churns it out. And then I investigate, have a look, pick one, move on. I just don't get why people aren't doing that in the forums. Like people go, how do I hide this? It's a bit of CSS. Just go and ask AI. You know, we now have this encyclopedia of machine learning. It won't always be right. It's only going to be as good as what it's learnt or scraped off the internet somewhere or whatever, right? But it may give you a easier way to delve deeper than if you ask someone and then they give you an answer, then you ask another question, and then they disappear for a day, and you're sat there waiting. But if you were using AI, you could have. And when you get so far and you're still not sure, you take what it told you, stuck it into another AI, and you get another take on it. And it's called research. And I feel like there's a major problem right now with people not being able to research, to funnel out the noise, and to go, well, this is kind of what I want. What people now want is to just be told. How do I do it? This is how you do it. They don't want to think for themselves about it. I'm noticing that a lot with youngsters especially, right? They don't want to have to sit there and go, well, I've got this algebraic formula, A equals X. A equals X, I mean, that's quite difficult because there's no numbers here, but somehow you're going to be able to work it out. A equals X, I don't know. Mike has been considering doing a channel around Elementor. I had a play around with creating new different stuff from your videos. I want to make videos on that. Yeah, you can do. I mean, you can take what I do because nothing I do is like protected. It's all open source code at the end of the day. Skelementor, hope you're all right. How you doing? I think I'm just talking about people being careful of being misled by companies that promise the world if you buy their course. Dave's right. You got to be brutal to stop the laziness. Samu says he did check, but there is no free option. Did you specify free option? Did you specify, could I use a free option and a code snippet and a bit of CSS to get what I want? It's all down to the questions. This is where you may need to do an AI course on the prompting side of it. Right? You got to think out the box. There might not be a plugin that does what you want, but could I use a plugin and a code snippet and a bit of AI? Look what I've done with ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, right? With the free version. So I've got the free version. How can I now show that here? With a code snippet. I don't need to get pro. How can I show the Advanced Custom Fields repeater fields in Elementor without purchasing Dynamic OO plugin? Here's a code snippet. So get as far as you can. If you want a free version, I'm going to come on to the free version bit. Can you add a bit of code to then do what you want? But that being said, Samu, not having a go at you, is this for you or a client? If it's for you, what is it worth? If you achieve this problem, you solve it, what is that solution worth to you? And if it means that you're going to probably make more sales and your website is easier, then you need to invest. You can't say it has to be free because you know, if this works, I might make $1,000 a month. Well, if you're going to make $1,000 a month, you can invest in $10, $15 a month or 20 to get the premium solution. And if it's for a client, right? If it's for a client, why is the client not paying for it? So Samu, if this is for a client, why is the client not paying for a solution that will do it, whereby you're not doing a fudged version, which, and we have to be honest here, when you start to use code or another plugin plus code, it could break, it could fail, could be a vulnerability. Your client won't be happy. Why is your client not paying for it? Let's answer that question first, right? Mike, I spent 3 days on a problem, watched endless videos, went out my mind. I'm glad you got there, Mike. Smiley Jack, I need a client. I need to fill my website I made myself with data. Turns out only a coming soon plugin is made. Huh? Avada. Greg, I've heard great things about GitHub. Yeah, I haven't really used GitHub Copilot. I mean, I haven't used Copilot. Sorry, not GitHub. I haven't really used it much. If it's good, I will probably start using, hey, Pickstar, how you doing? How's your family, by the way? How's your daughter? How is everything? So back to you, Samu, right? You want to do all this filtering. You've tried to use AI. There's no free version of what you want to do. I've told you, think about code snippets or a bit of code to do more on top of what you got. You can do that to a point, to an extent. But this is for a client. So why is your client not paying for it? And I can probably guess that the reason why your client won't pay for it is because they told you what they want and you said, I can do it, but you don't know how to do it. Am I right there? So Samu says, I'm working with a Nepali client and they are very cheap. They can't pay and don't pay for that. No, that's not the answer, Samu. That is not the answer. It doesn't matter what their nationality is. It doesn't matter how cheap they want it. At the end of the day, if your Nepali client wants a car, they'll get a car. If they want a convertible, they pay for it. If they want alloys and all of that, they pay for it. The nationality does not come into it. All right? Your client wants a mobile phone. Fine. Your client wants an iPhone 16. Well, you're going to have to pay for that, right? Your client wants, let me think about this now, right? They want a microphone that they can turn around and everywhere. Well, then you have to pay for that feature, okay? It could be something as basic as a microwave, right? You either got the turn dial or a digital, right? So you're saying your client can't pay for it. You need to make clear to your client, okay, that, okay, because you will not pay for it, this is what you get. If you pay for it, this is what you get. It's like buying a car. You turn up to the garage and you say, oh, I've only got $10,000. And they go, right, well, that's what you get. Oh, but I want that car. Yeah, you got to pay $50,000. Oh man, what if I get another 5,000? Well, for 15, you get that, right? It's the car analogy. And that's what you got to think about. So you got to go back to your client and make clear to them, they will get what they pay for, right? Because if you keep busting a gut to find a solution for a client who ain't going to pay for it, they do not value what you bring to the table, and you will get taken for a ride. And every time the client goes, I want this, I want that, you'll do it. Do this for me, you'll do it, because you don't want to lose the client. You need to get out of that mindset. Pickstar's right. Some clients think that everything is free and growing on a tree. Grab what you can. Grab them like that. Bloody coder. Samu says, but you're also from Nepal, so I know the local environment. The client budget is limited. Again, Samu, I don't care. And I'll tell you now, I know people that have wanted to work with me, right? And they know me, they want a website, and they're like, oh, can you do it for £300? And I go, £300 will get you a 1-hour meeting with me. I'm not going to build your website. Oh, no, but I'm struggling. I've got this. I've got that. I've got bills. My wife's not working. I've got to pay for this for my kid. I'm struggling with clothes, cost of living, and all of this. And if I do this, I promise I'll pay you back. I couldn't give two shits. I could not care less. My brother-in-law wanted a website in, let me get my dates right now, April, May 2022. It's April 2022, right? He wanted a website. This is my wife's sister's husband, okay? They wanted a website, all right? They're much younger than me. They're not rolling in money. What did I quote him? £3,500. What's that? $5,000-ish. At first, he was a bit surprised because people think, "Oh, family, yeah, I'll do it for you on the sly." Fuck no, because I'm gonna build a website. I've got to spend time. There'll be a bit of back and forth. There'll be a revision. If you want to get it done by someone cheaper, you go. but don't come to me when there's a problem. That's between you and them. If you come to me, I might advise you a little bit, but if you want me to work on it, you pay. So where you're from and what your client base is irrelevant. Seriously, irrelevant. So if you're in Nepal and your client's in Nepal and people pay a certain amount, what did you agree to do for that certain amount? And if there are other people that would do everything that client wants, then fine. But then what you have to look at is, why did you agree to do what the client wants if you don't know how to do it? I've said this many times. We all love to challenge ourselves, but I will never challenge myself to climb Mount Everest if I don't know how to do it. None of you, right? No one I know in my family or friends are going to be able to help me climb Mount Everest. Okay? So there are some challenges I won't do. I am not going to I am not going to create an Amazon equivalent website for anyone, because I have a pretty good idea of what I'd use, but I don't want that pressure. So it's easy to say, well, that's what the client will pay. Fine. But do not agree to do something if you do not know how to do it. Because even if I tell you how to do it, that might not work. You're back to square one. Do you understand what I mean? So you might find a plugin that can do what you want, but you then got to make sure that plugin has got longevity in it. It's not one of those plugins that, it's only got like 5 reviews. You use it, your entire business hinges on that plugin, and then the plugin goes bust and there's a vulnerability and it no longer works, because your client is not going to care. They're going to come back to you and say, you built it, you fix it. And if you don't know how to do that, you're setting yourself up for a fail. But what I would say you do is, when you work with any client, if they want you to do something, I've had business calls with people or a proposal, and they kind of make clear what they want. And I have a think about it. And if I cannot get a decent enough answer in my head, I just say, this ain't for me. I'm not entirely confident with how to do this, and I don't want the stress. If someone is paying me $5,000 for a website, that is $5,000 for me to spend up to about 5 to 6 days from scratch building the website, right? If they want SEO, they pay, and then there's extra added on, and it goes on and on, right? But that 5,000 is for me to build the website, the time I allocated, the plugins I want to use, the way we're going to do it. And it also is based on them providing content and resources, images, colors, and all of that to me on a timely basis. When I ask for it, I give them a bit of breathing space. They have time to do it, but they have to do all of that. Okay. If the client wants me to build the same website and to do something extra, and I don't know how to do it, I'm not going to do it. I will not agree to that project, because I want to protect the time and the value that I bring to it. Mike, how would you package a service when it comes to wanting Elementor Pro free? Sorry, how would you package a service when it comes to wanting Elementor Pro, free booking system, or premium booking system, just offer get service like premium? Blah, blah, blah. I would package it as the time it takes to build what they need to build. Because you got to look at it and say, the time to do a free booking system may be the same as a premium booking system. So treat it like a car, basic car. Then you have a car with, like, sat nav and alloys and, aircon and all of that. Then you have the sports model and And then you might have special 18-inch alloys, even though you got the alloys here, but it's a different type of alloy. And, so the way you cost it, the way you package it, they're like add-ons, aren't they? Design Flicks, I have some amazing people I work with all over the world. Just because you're from A doesn't mean you can't work with Z. Yeah, but no, you're absolutely right. I mean, but there are some things I won't do because I know that I can't either rely fully on some people, or the budget to get it done outweighs what I will get paid, or I just don't want the stress. When you come out of a day job where the stresses are unpredictable, you could have a good day and a really bad week, right? I did not want to come into freelancing and then agency work and all of that, where I am going to go to sleep at night worried, panicking. I promised this, it's not working, I don't know what to do. Client is expecting, client's paid a deposit, you're up all night trying stuff out, you're going through code snippets left, right, center, and it's just not working. The website's now broken, you lost stuff, you're struggling. I don't want that. I don't want that. I came out, the only stress I knew I would have is making sure you earn enough money. That is the obvious stress with anything you do. But I didn't want to then add on to that the stress of knowing what to do, right? Okay? It's like saying I'm going to open a restaurant and then at night you go, I don't know how to make a sandwich. No, you should have worked that out before. Absolutely, Dennis. Go back to the client if you don't know what to do. Mike, do you stick to a particular niche of customers? No, not really. I think that I like to work with whoever I want, when I want, on what they want, if I want. I need to stress that. I've had people come to me who have offered a lot of money, right? But I don't like them, or I don't like what the website will be about, or I just feel like there's potential for scope creep galore with this person. I feel like we just don't vibe together. And I know you shouldn't judge people, but I will. And you know why? Because I can. I'm in control. My life now, I'm in control of it. Okay? There are some things by the forces of nature, the power of Mumra. There are things that we do not have full control over. But I decide who I want to work with. All right? I was offered $9,000 a month for a 6-month contract to work with a business to do stuff for them, and I turned it down. $9,000 a month back then when I was offered this deal was more than what I was earning at that point of time. $9,000 a month for 6 months, and I turned it down because I didn't want to work with them. There's something about, yeah, I'll do that because you're going to pay me. But there is also something about, don't get caught up where now the money starts to lose value because you are stressed. And when you're stressed, it affects you, your health, your welfare, your family life. Logging on to computer, when you look at an email and go, oh God, my client, now I've got to do this and that. No one likes that. TF Vehicle, how you doing? To fail, sorry. How can I make membership and quiz with single plugin? Have you asked ChatGPT? There's my answer, right? There's loads of ways you can do it. There's loads of plugins out there to do it. You could use Forminator plugin, right? Formidable as well and all of that. Have you asked ChatGPT? And have you made clear what you mean by a membership or a quiz plugin? Because quiz plugins mean, well, it doesn't really, it can mean anything. So if you're a bit more specific, you can probably do that. Memo says that someone from a third world country. Look, the thing is, right, it doesn't matter if you live and work in a third world country. It doesn't matter if your client is in a third world country. If your client in a third world country, look, let's be brutal here, right? Are you ready to be brutal, my friends? Right? If you're in a third world country, your client or you, and you go into a restaurant and you say, I want a meal, they'll give you a plate of food, right? Let's just say. And then you say, I want double and I want extra and I want a drink. Is the restaurant going to go, well, you're in a third world country, I'm in a third world country, the restaurant's in a third world country, you've not got a lot of money, I feel sorry for you, here's another plate, here's some other stuff, and here's a drink for free. There comes a point where we have to stop making excuses. Even in a first developed country that I'm in, right? I'm in the UK. I can't walk into Pizza Hut and go, well, I paid for this large pizza, now I want a bit more. You got to pay for it. That is life. So wherever you're from, right? Don't make excuses for your client or who they are or who you are. If you're going to provide something, they pay for it. Otherwise, the value of what you bring has been diluted. This is the cost to build a website, but I'll also do your SEO, and I'll also do your appointment booking, and I'll also investigate a solution because we haven't got one, and I'll also do something else for you, and I'll be here for you whenever you want me. The value is diluted away, right? It's like throwing water on the wicked witch, all right? Water, right? That you just don't want that. You are right, Pigstar. Burger, my friend. You know, good times. I feel like having one of them now. So TF says he used AI, but it suggested 2 different plugins. Yeah, but you need to be specific with your prompting. You got to be specific, right? And memo, if your clients ever say to you, yeah, but I'm not earning a lot of money, turn it around on your client. So memo and Sumar, wherever you've gone, can you tell me what business one of your clients does? Don't say the name. Just tell me the business. Is it a dentist? Is it a gardener? Do they work in a restaurant? Do they wash cars? What? Are they an accountant? Are they a travel agency? Give me a business. Tell me the niche area they're in. Go on, Memo. Go on, Sumar. Give me it. Because what you do, well, I'll tell you what you do, because I've done this many times, and it always works. Always works, right? There you go. Pigstar just gave a brilliant answer there. We're not, he's not earning enough money either because of people asking for too much. Exactly, Dennis. Stressful. Mike, I had a yoga teacher on Wix want to leave. I said I could do it on WordPress and Elementor, but the booking I looked at Amelia, but not sure. Yeah, but Mike, it depends. Like TidyCal. Go and look at TidyCal. TIDYCAL. Not Calendly, TidyCal. One-off payment of about $29, I think it is. One-off, and you can take payments on there. Go and look at that one. Right, memo, beauty retailer looking to go online. So this beauty retailer, do they sell beauty products? Or do you go to their shop and they apply beauty? Are they a beautician? So tell me what they are. Beauty retailer, what do? Do they sell products? Or are they like a beautician? So you go there to get makeup, your hair done, your toenails polished. Maybe they clean in between your toenails kind of thing. I don't know. So beauty retailer, what do they do? What do they do? I've got a client meeting in a bit, actually. I just remembered. It's actually for a while. I'm only going to be live for another 15, 20 minutes or so. I know. As I was doing it, Case, I realized this is like like what kind of massage therapist are they? Right. Come on, Memo. What are they? A beautician? Do they sell products? What are they? Basically, they're looking to have an e-commerce site for online sales for their products. They buy the products, so they're like a reseller. But I don't want to take too much of your time. No, don't worry, Memo. This is all good. This is us having a debate, even though I'm talking and I get to rickroll and everything I'm saying. Yeah, with a happy ending. Exactly, Dennis. Yes. So this person wants to have an e-commerce store, right? Say to them, how much do you sell this this lotion for? And they'll say, we sell this lotion for $1. No. So let's say they want you to build a website and you say it's going to cost X and they say, I can't afford that. We're in a third world country. What the fuck are you doing? We can't do that. You then say, okay, but imagine, well, don't imagine, you sell beauty products. You got this lotion, right? It's $1. Imagine you try to sell this and people contact you and say, I can see that you're selling this for $1, but I will buy it if you sell it to me for $0.50. Are you going to sell it to them for $0.50? Or are you going to tell them to fuck off? Do you get what I mean? You're not going to sell it for $1, less than $1. You set the price for $1 and they want you to sell it for $0.50 with free postage and packaging from wherever you are to Papua New Guinea or somewhere to Easter Island. Your client ain't going to do that. So it's getting them to understand you wouldn't do it. So why should I do it? Why should I devalue my service? Your product is your service. Designing websites is my service. It's all about that. All right? It's all about that. They take a certain percentage. Are we talking about the happy ending, Dennis, where they take a certain percentage of it, if you know what I mean? Memo, I love the idea of creating value enough that the budget becomes out. That's what I mean, Memo. And I think this is something that doesn't get spoken about a lot. And I see it so much, right? Where people kind of go, but, you know, I'm in India, I'm in South Africa, I'm here, and the clients can't afford it. I then go, yeah, but you then say, here's the cost for the website. If you want SEO, you add a bit extra. You want me to now do a special bespoke solution, you add a bit extra. You want me to investigate a brand new solution or whatever for you, it's a bit extra. And you let them pick and choose. If they don't like it and they want to go elsewhere, they can. But when they get a fucked up website, they may come back to you and you stick to your prices. You stick to it. Because I'm not the sort of person who haggles, right? I know people, if they were going to go buy a car or whatever, they would probably haggle, you know, all day long. Oh, I'm only going to pay this, I'm only going to pay that. I'm not into that, all right? Because I look at it from the point of view that you're selling this for whatever price you're selling, and you will take a cut of that for profit for you, your business, and whoever. I do not know what your uplift is. So just like if I say I'm going to build your website for $5,000 and you want a $500 discount, I go, no, I won't even give you a $1 discount. I don't care what's happening in your life. I am being brutally honest here. I've had people go on and on and on about their terminal illness. I don't know how true that is, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to dilute. I won't, because that's the price I've set. And if I dilute, I'll have to keep diluting. And I don't want to go back into where I was 5-6 years ago, where I did keep offering a discount. Oh, they want to work with me, I'll offer a discount. They want to work, but they want half price. Okay, we'll meet in the middle somewhere. We'll compromise and all that. Because when you get into that mindset, you are forever allowing discounts. Then the next time the client comes and goes, I want a brand new page. All right, well, it's this amount. Oh, come on, mate. You did it for me last time with a discount. Please give me a discount. And then you give him a discount. Why? You set a price just like that shop. If the shop has a sale, that's different. Because they're now telling you there's a sale. But if you set a price, you stick to it. You stick to it. Have I used Brizzy Builder? Nope. Never used Brizzy Builder. Never had the need to use Brizzy Builder. I'm glad it's... And by the way, Memo and Sumar and anyone else, it's not about having a go at you, but it's about getting you to, like, suddenly go, I'm not going to stand for this. I am not going to let someone dictate or tell me I'm wrong to charge X. Because you wouldn't like it if I said, well, that beauty product, which is made out of, like, your piss, it's dried piss, it's very yellow and green, you know, there's stuff bobbing along inside of it, that ain't worth $1. You wouldn't like it. So why should you? But you do it in a nicer way. You go, hey, look, man, look, if someone, you know, blah, 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 you do it in a nice way. Very true, Pigstar, about the $2 Big Mac. But sometimes McDonald's do a special discount. And if you have enough McDonald's points, you can get it for free. I've got quite a few points. So yeah, can work out for you as well. Dennis says, my boss sells websites for way too less. I mean, that's like, at the end of the day, right? If you get paid, Dennis, what you've said you want to get paid to build a website, then whatever your boss sells it for, that's between him and the client and what he takes. If you, as a member of the agency, the one who's doing the hard work, gets what you deserve, that's what you stick with, right? You don't lower. And if any of you get approached by someone, an agency, and goes, look, I've got loads of clients, I'm growing my agency, I want you to build a website for me, and I'll give you ongoing work, $200 per website, but you charge $2,000, you make clear, I'm sorry, I want $2,000. Because I bet that agency is charging $5,000 and they're only giving you $200. You're doing all the work. They take a huge cut. You're doing all the work. No, if your price is $2,000, you get $2,000, all right? Because there are agencies out there, they charge $10,000 and then they churn it out. Like, it's very well known, okay? There were like people were hiring people from Thailand or places. And they're getting a website built for $100 or whatever, $50, $100. But they're charging $10,000. So they get a huge chunk of the pie. But the web developer, who has to take on the burden and the stress of building and the revisions and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But then again, at the end of the day, you have to flip it and look at it from all sides of the coin. If $50, well, this is the point. Jeffrey is in Thailand, by the way, but it's true. It was happening in Thailand a lot. If the developer in, like, look, I could hire someone from South Africa to build a website. Okay. Hey, Janet, I could hire someone in South Africa and I could pay them $50. No, let's change it. Let's change it around, right? I could hire someone in, India or South Africa, Sri Lanka, right? And I could pay them $50 or $100, right, for a website. And I charge $5,000. I get $4,900. Yay, I'm happy. But the person in South Africa or India or Nigeria only got $100. $100 in Nigeria is a lot of money. Can someone here clarify and correct me if I'm wrong? $100 in India is a lot of money. $100 in South Africa is a shitload of money. I believe it's 6 months rent. So if like you're getting paid enough, then fine. But the point of what I was trying to get at is don't get taken for a ride and don't offer to do stuff for clients who devalue you just because they want you to do X, Y, Z. Now I'm going to close off in a couple of minutes. I've been live for 1 hour, 18 minutes, and I've got to just do a bit of stuff because I've got a client meeting in 58 minutes time. So I just want to not freshen up, but just be clear in my mind about that meeting. Raza says, for my clothing line with elemental theme is best. Hello. Just use hello. Just do that. Take care, Pigstar. Steve, my business partner is an US citizen that lives in Thailand, and I had to work with him to get him to understand the price is the price. Yep. I mean, I think some people just don't get it sometimes. Go to your meeting. Yeah, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close off now. I hope you've enjoyed the live chat. I hope you found it interesting. Will I do a live chat tomorrow? Thursday, maybe. I don't know. I'll see how much I feel I want to do it again. It feels great to let out emotion sometimes, to sometimes be the real me, right? And to also let you see who the real me is, because it's how I am. Anyway, look, Don't forget to smash the like button. I hope you stay subscribed. I hope you're following and liking the videos I'm putting out. Go pop along to the Web Squadron Facebook group if you haven't already. And hopefully I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye.